I'm going to be making a vegan mac and cheese. Now, I don't mean vegan mac and cheese by buying like cheese substitutes from the store. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using 3 potatoes. These are russet potatoes, 2 carrots, 1 onion, and you could just do like 3 or 4 cloves of garlic. I have a huge amount of garlic right now because there was a miscommunication and 2 people in the house bought sleeves of garlic. Plus I like a lot of garlic. And also I'm going to be cutting this head of cauliflower in half. So I'm going to get through the prep part of it. I have my water going for my elbow macaroni, which I have salted and added some grapeseed oil to. And then the water that I'm going to be putting my veggies in to boil, I have salted as well. So I have chopped my vegetables. I took the cauliflower and just like removed the stems, leaving like the floret part. You don't want to have too much of the stem in there because you want it to come out nice and creamy. I roughly chopped the onions, the carrots, and the potatoes, and then the garlic I just peeled and took the end off of those because this is all going to end up going in a blender anyway. And then I'm just going to transfer these to my pot of boiling water, trying not to burn myself in the process. So then we're going to let those get nice and soft. And then this wasn't a full box, but it was already open. I'm throwing my elbows in the pot. So I kind of used about 1.5 boxes. And I'm just going to give this a stir and come back when our vegetables are ready to go into the blender. So the pasta, our elbow macaroni was done and I have strained that. My vegetables over here are still not as soft as I want them to be. You want the fork to pretty much just go right through the cauliflower and the carrots because they take the longer to cook. So when they're done, you know that the potatoes and all the other stuff is done too. So in the meantime, what you would want to do is get your seasonings ready. They're all going to go into the sauce with the vegetables. So there's 1 teaspoon each. There's onion powder, sea salt, garlic powder, parsley, cayenne pepper, and freshly cracked peppercorns, black peppercorns. I have 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, and because I prefer a baked macaroni and cheese, eggs used to be very good to bind it and to keep it like kind of solidified when you cut into it. The cheese doesn't ooze and run out. Now, if you don't want to transfer this to the oven, you don't have to. You could just put your mixture all together in a pot if you like a stovetop mac and cheese. And then you would be able to omit this as well. So because we're not using egg, this is vegan, I have 1 tablespoon of egg replacer. I think it's Bob's Red Mill is the brand that I'm using. So I have 1 tablespoon of the egg replacer, and I just mixed it with 2 tablespoons of warm water, and we're gonna let that sit while we're waiting for our vegetables. They look like they should be about another 5 minutes, and then we'll get them in the blender and get our cheese sauce together. So our vegetables reached the softness that I was looking for, and I have transferred them to the blender off camera because I could just see myself dealing with these hot ingredients and spilling them all over the place on camera. I don't want you to know those things about me, not just yet. Let's get to know each other a little better first. But I did use a spoon because, like I said, it was hot. So I could have done it on camera, but like you want to watch me spooning something into a blender. So I'm going to take my seasonings. I'm going to throw my seasonings in here.
Hello, I'm Francis. Piana's husband. You're married? didn't think that was worth mentioning.
And our nutritional yeast. My egg mixture, well, my egg replacer.
Remember all the tickle fights?
Yeah, over a while. I remember this one time we were taking a bath together.
And then I can just eyeball this, but since I have you on here, I'm gonna tell you the measurements, and this is plant milk. I'm using unsweetened coconut milk.
I'm so sorry.
So this is a cup right here.
It's a real pleasure to meet you, sir.
I'm gonna put,
Do you have any money? No. Well, tonight's been a big bowl.
just to be safe, I put about 2/3 in it, because once it comes out too liquidy, then you're kind of having to fix it, boiling more vegetables and adding them. So we're going to put this on high. And we can definitely add the rest
So let me see.
of our milk.
Didn't tell your father.
So this is a full cup that I used, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be using more, but we'll see how it's coming out so far.
Contact the police until
Looks like I'm gonna do more milk, but I just want to get the flavor down, make sure it's where I want it to be. Can you see that? It's still a little too thick. I like the flavor we got going. Not mad at that at all. I'm going to do another half a cup, and I believe that'll be all we need.
Finding things you need. And love. And use. Every day.
We're going to transfer this back to our pot, and we're going to let it cook down some, and then after it cooks down, I'm just going to keep stirring it, and I'm going to do this for about 5 minutes on a medium heat, continuously stirring it. I'm just going to grab my spatula and get the rest of this goodness in the pot, and then we will be back to mix the sauce with our pasta. And like I said, I like it baked, so we're going to transfer it to the oven, and it's going to go on 375 for 35 to 40 minutes. Okay, we're on to the finish line. So we have our stovetop mac and cheese that we will be adding to the oven for baking. I think you could get good light.
Don't do this.
So I'm going to put some grapeseed oil in my baking pan.
It's the deal with the store. It's got a baffling built into it.
Just give it a little spray. Whoops. And then we're just going to transfer our mixture to the pan. So when I'm finished doing that, we'll be right back. Okay, I've got everything transferred to my baking pan. Just going to kind of mat it down. And then I like a little brown at the top. So what I used to use was, I'm still going to use breadcrumbs, but these are, you have to watch when you buy breadcrumbs, because they're not always vegan. So I get Jason. They come seasoned and unseasoned. I have the Jason seasoned breadcrumbs because, like I said, I like a little like crunch at the top of my mac and cheese. So I'm just going to sprinkle some of these breadcrumbs on top. This is about 2 tablespoons, and just enough to get the whole top covered. And then what you can do is you can spray this so that you ensure that you're going to get a nice brown on this. You can spray this with olive oil or avocado oil or whatever oil you are used to using. I like to use aquafaba just because I like the idea of using less oil in my recipes. So we're just going to spoon some of this on top of our mac and cheese. And our oven is preheated. It's at 375. We're almost there. Now we're ready to go in the oven for 35 minutes. I'm going to check it at 35 minutes, see if it might need a few more minutes, and we'll be back for the finished product. We have now taken our vegan mac and cheese out of the oven, and it is super, super hot. It looks nice and solidified. It's got a little brown at the top. So I'm going to let this cool off, and I'm going to try it after I'm done editing. So I hope you guys liked this video, if you found it helpful. There's so many different spins. I feel like every time I make vegan mac and cheese, I incorporate something different. I'll do it with cashews, I'll do it with walnuts, I'll do it with hemp seeds. So this was a different approach by using the cauliflower. So please like, subscribe, turn your notifications on, and share. And everybody have a great night.